Good morning and good afternoon, UK. Today I'm very happy to welcome actress and painter Rebecca Grant. How are you, Rebecca? Nice to meet you
I'm
online.
lovely to meet you too. An honor to meet you, Sherif. I'm good.
My pleasure.
I've yeah,
My-
very good.
Yes, Rebecca, I've been running through your filmography. You have an official website as a painter, also your previous works in television, cinema, short films, everything. And I've seen you have also like some royal descendants as well. So, what can you tell us about your being growing up and getting interested into the arts?
Well, what was I suppose I never really had any toys growing up. Like I didn't really play. I had toys, but I wasn't um super interested in playing with toys as such. But my mum took me and my two older sisters to a ballet school, and our ballet teacher and mentor um, taught us the expression of dance and taught us to use our imagination through ballet and different styles of dance to tell stories. And so I got off my mum's lap whilst I was watching my sisters dance and started to join in. And the rest is history, really. And I started painting soon after. I enjoyed using my imagination for playtime, and then it turned into work, really.
Yes, and before we speak about your acting career, regarding your painting, how can you define your painting? It's contemporary painting, and what material do you use usually?
I'd like to say that I try and use all the styles that I've worked on my whole life. So all the different styles I've worked on, from abstract to illustration to impressionism, I have put it in one to create my own original art in my current collection. So there is abstract in there, there is illustration and impressionism, and my strokes are quite blocky when it comes to the illustration side of things. Um, so you can see my set sail collection. You'll see the abstract of the gold leaf, the pouring paint, which is acrylic, and then for the boats, it's very illustrative and bold. Again, that's acrylic. I also used gold leaf. Some parts of it is impressionism. So yes, I would like to say all three: abstract, impressionism, and illustration. I want to build beautiful worlds and paintings with those three different types of styles that I've developed my whole life. And also, my grandfather was an artist in the south of France. He was very impressionistic with his work, and you can see by the brush strokes, it's very influenced by him subconsciously.
This is great, and I see as well in the same context you realize some shows as well, exhibition in England or outside of England.
Well, yes, I do. I have a lot. I have had lots of exhibitions um, in London growing up. I won a couple of larger competitions where I was awarded prizes by royalty, and that was one of my biggest exhibitions was in Hampton Court Palace when I was one of the winners for the Young Artists Award for Prince Charles's birthday. Um, but now I prefer to keep my exhibitions exclusive. I am going to start doing events again and exhibitions, but a lot of my selling points are online or private viewings at my studio, which is now in Felbridge in West Sussex.
Yes. And your website is rebeccagrant.co.uk for
That's right.
viewers to discover it, right?
But for the painting, it's rebeccagrant.co.uk.
Yes,
For the acting, it's rebeccagrant.biz, B-I-Z.
yes, great. So, Rebecca, this is about your painting, about your acting career. I have seen in your filmography that you realized several short films, right?
Yes, I've produced a couple of short films. I've done lots of TV and lots of theatre.
Yes, yes. Short films through your production companies, right?
Yes, yes, through my own
Yeah,
production company. I run a production company with a producer in America. It's called Red Boot Productions,
yes.
and we're currently producing a play on the lives and works of Frida Kahlo. So that's going to be the
This
next production.
your next one. But in your production company, what kind of scripts and work you look for essentially?
Well, at the moment, um, we were looking at quite a lot scripts in regards to fighting human trafficking. I got Ben Highland, who is a fantastic writer and director. He wrote Safe Space, which is a film about human trafficking, and also anti-drug films as well. Anything that helps, people's lives or clears up the planet. I like to look at and make films out of them. um, I mean, at the moment, the short films, I haven't addressed anything with the short film side of things because we're looking at the life of Frida Kahlo as a theatre production. Um, so yes, that's what I was looking at. It was mainly films about fighting human trafficking, which is basically the buying and selling of human beings and children, which is probably one of the world's biggest crimes at the moment.
Of
And
course.
so I like to create awareness of that because it's something that's not really expressed in our media. I think because it's quite a dark place. But
Yes.
there's ways to show that. Like if
Hmm.
you watch Safe Space, it's not traumatic
Hmm.
at all. It basically brings two women from the West and the East together, as you'll see.
Yes, regarding human trafficking, I've been seeing a lot of films during my festival travel, you know, and especially, regarding women as well trafficking, especially women coming from Eastern Europe, and
Yeah.
sometimes, uh, it's quite challenging for them, and when you see this, either it's a feature narrative film or a documentary, you feel how challenging this is. This is for all races. I mean, for people also coming from, let's say, world premiere countries, something like that. So it's
Yeah.
been all around, and I think with the challenging around the world, if we are not conscious about it, it will be rising. So it's
Mm,
very good of you that you are looking for such scripts. And
mm.
Rebecca, right now, I've seen that your latest television series was Queen of Mystery.
Yes, Queens of Mystery and BBC Show Trial. Those two shows came out at a similar time. But yeah, Queens of Mystery would be the latest because we're waiting
Uh,
for season three, hopefully.
really, it's continuing.
Mm.
So
Yes, hopefully. We're just waiting to hear some news if that goes
yes,
ahead. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and so are the other actors. But yeah, Queens of Mystery is a
yeah.
fun, kind of cozy murder mystery, and it's very British. I play the forensic scientist and love interest of one of the leads. And it's really fun, and the audience loves it. And it's for Acorn TV, so it gets shown in America and all parts of the world as well.
Yes. Yes, I think I've seen a clip of that, in your show reel, in your
Mm,
demo reel. Let's say.
mm,
But
yeah.
speaking of British mystery series, in Egypt, I grew up watching, classic series, and I remember they used to co-produce it with the United States. I remember the classic, The Prisoner, of course, and we used to watch. Uh, an anthology series called Thriller. I don't know if you have seen it or not. It was produced in the 70s, and it was
Hmm.
quite similar to the Outer Limits, and Twilight Zone. It's
Okay.
a mix. It was it different themes. I mean, it was sometimes it's a mystery, it's a thriller. It
Mm,
has some glances of horror, like Hammer films as well.
mm,
So,
Hmm.
and yeah, this is my memories with British produced television series. And
Yes, yes,
and right now, Black Mirror. I remember I've watched some of the episodes on Netflix as well. But tell me,
yes.
Rebecca, as a woman performer, right now the roles offered to you in cinema or television is satisfying for you. I mean, or do you look as well through your production company for some different challenges? I mean, as an actress or producer.
Yeah, I think for the past few years, I feel like I've been probably limiting myself just to TV, which I don't mind, but I get seen a lot for like doctors and lawyers and detectives, and it's very much a similar tone. Um,
Hmm.
dry sense of humor, um, like has a vulnerable side but tough on the outside, blah blah blah. And I do enjoy them, but I suppose I want to explore other tones of characterization, possibly something that has a bit more action to it, because I do martial arts as well, and I'm restarting my training next week for Wing Chun and Pencat Silat, which is the two forms, and also Filipino Kali fighting. Is I want to start going back to my roots because I used to do some Kali stick fighting. I want to go back to that as well, and I actually want to explore more action films, action type roles.
Yes.
Um, that's what I want to explore because I feel like I'm trying to fit into this mold of this dry sense of kind of, the word here is bitchy. Um,
Mhm.
and I'm like trying to fit in it. And I suppose it's not really me. I am
Mhm.
quite a happy, action packed kind of girl. Um, so yeah, I am going to explore. I'll keep my options open for TV, but I'm gonna explore more film and more action and other characters. That's not just in this kind of professional role of playing doctors or nurses or lawyers and detectives.
Yes. Yes. But what is your favorite action stars right now? Who, Jason Statham, for instance, or
Oh goodness. God, I've had. I think it's always been Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan?
Uh,
Yes,
yes, it
Chan.
always. I was obsessed with Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan growing up. Just
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely. I think so that film in the Sahara Desert with Jackie Chan. I can't remember the film. It was one of my favorite films. Would you believe?
yeah, yeah. I think it's
One of my favorite films.
Armor of the Gods Part Two, maybe.
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah. But it's the end where he
interesting.
shows all the times he nearly dies with all these stunts, and I think I loved it. I just love his work, and Bruce Lee. Oh my gosh, I'm sending my son to martial arts.
Uh-huh.
The same people that train me as well.
Yeah,
So he's starting next week as well.
yeah. I watched my first Bruce Lee film, Enter the Dragon. I think I was 5 or 6 years old.
Mm.
And for us,
Uh,
at that age, he was an icon. I remember his posters were sold across the streets of Egypt, especially in the scene when, at the climate of Enter the Dragon, when he used to fight the chief gangster, and the chief gangster used to have some metallic tiger claws in his head, and he was hurting him all the time, give him a
yeah,
punch, and this photo with him hurt all around like this was like everywhere,
really.
when yes, 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 yes.
That's
But
funny. That's funny.
I think Bruce Lee, I think, inspired many people. I don't know if you have seen few of the films his son Brandon Lee did, like The Crow,
Yeah, I
and
loved The Crow. I love
the
The
first
Crow.
one was excellent. And of course,
Mm.
Jackie Chan and Jet Li, of course, they all the predecessor, they were got inspired. And usually martial arts cinema, in Hong Kong, are very inspirational for for Hollywood and for European production. But
Mm.
tell me, do you like to do your own stunts if you have the chance, or do you
Of
find it
course, I'd love to do my own stuff. Well, yeah, because of my dancing career, I'm quite
Yes,
flexible. Um,
yes,
and yeah, and I mean, I haven't really tried any stunts, but I have. Do you know what? I've done
yes,
Filipino traditional dancing. When I was a dancer, I trained a lot with Lahing Kayo Manggit, which is a Filipino dance troupe because of my background. And that included a lot of stunts. So imagine dancing between two bamboo sticks really, really
yes,
fast. The bamboo sticks are opening and closing, and you're dancing between the sticks. It's called tinikling. It's the dance of the bird between the sticks when they used to kind of catch the birds. And imagine the bamboo sticks opening and closing rhythmically, and I'm dancing between. So I did that thousands of thousands. I did that on the Generation Game, which is a TV show here over in the UK. That's one hell of a stunt. And also standing and dancing on the bamboo sticks as you're lifted up in midair. That's a stunt. Also, dancing with glasses on your head filled with that much wine and in your hands. That's called pandango Benisuan. So spinning very, very fast and dancing with balancing that in your head.
yes,
That's a stunt. And the same dance, but with fire on your head in a glass, like
yes,
a little a candle, and in your hands. So yeah, thanks to my Filipino um, traditional dance background, looking at it, I've done quite a few stunts where you could have broken ankles or set yourself on fire. So yeah, jumping out of
yeah,
planes, not quite yet.
yes. Speaking of dancing, was some traditional Middle Eastern and Egyptian belly dancers. They used to dance
Mm.
with, a handful of candles. You know,
Ah,
uh, above their heads, and it's a
yeah.
very it's belly dancing, but you have this big thing, like and this
Mm.
used to be done, in classic dance 60s and 70s, the leading belly dancers in Egypt especially used to
Oh, I
do that,
love them.
so it's very very
Oh,
beautiful aesthetically as well, the aesthetics, and
yes.
the movement is very beautiful, especially when they used to show the stuff on film. It used to be
Mm.
more beautifully aesthetic, in colors and movement.
Mm.
So I
I'm
see
sure
up.
the Filipinos and Egyptians and all that part of the world influenced each other with different styles
Of
of dance. I'm
course,
sure throughout the ages they picked up different styles from each other, you know? I
yes,
love it.
yes, yes. Between Africa, Asia, and also Latin America here,
Mm.
you will find a lot of common,
Mm.
uh,
Yeah.
and interaction in dancing, and especially stuff with the nature, and from heritage, and
Mm.
stuff like that. But tell
Yeah.
me, Rebecca, I see upcoming for you. You have a project called Artificial Twins. This is correct?
Yeah, I don't know much about it. My agent attached me to it. They got in touch with my agent. I don't know much about it, to be honest. But
It
yeah, I'm
seems like a
attached to that.
science
It sounds
fiction.
like a science fiction. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
I don't know too much about that as
yes,
yet, but yeah,
yes.
that should be fun.
And tell me, Rebecca, did you try to, or did you travel to parts of the Middle East, or Southern Asia?
Um, Let me see. Not quite yet.
Africa?
I've no, not yet, not yet. Maybe a film would get me there at some point. I did
Of course.
tell it. Yeah, I
It
was
will be
supposed to be
exotic.
filming in Morocco at some point, but I
Morocco.
couldn't do that job.
Beautiful.
I did I did a
Mhm.
commercial in Tel Aviv years ago. Um,
Yes.
I've done I've done plays in London where I've had to be from that part of the world, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it will be very interesting for you, given your interest
Mm,
in dancing, performance,
mm,
martial arts, and painting as well. I see you paint a lot of ships, on
yeah.
and in See, I think traveling will be is part of your character and discovering other culture as well.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to live on a boat with my family at some point.
Yes, yeah. Actually, when you we used to go to Cannes Festival, you know, it's
Mm,
on the Mediterranean Sea.
mm.
The most effective and cheapest way to stay is to rent a small yacht.
Oh,
It's
nice.
it's very cost
That's
effective than
lovely.
Cannes Hotel. Yeah, so we
Well,
used to
yeah.
do that. We used to be next to the Cannes Palace, you know, to go to the movies every day. So I
Mm.
think you will love this experience as well.
Oh, that'd be lovely. That'd be lovely. Yeah, I think I will.
Uh,
I will stay on a yacht at some point there.
Rebecca, I want to thank you very much for the lovely interview.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
I know you're busy with many things. I look forward for your next, the new season, of course, of your series. You know, Queens of Mystery, and
Oh,
also your
fingers
next
crossed.
show, next show exhibition. You know, I hope we can come to at the opening. You know,
Yes, yes.
and
I'll keep you
all
posted.
the best all the best wishes, you know, in your acting and martial art careers, and best wishes to you and to your family.
Lovely, lovely, lovely to talk to you, Sharif, and all the best to you
Thank,
too.
thank you very much. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you
You
very
too.
much.
Take care.
Bye bye. Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.